This video is going to show you a solo Grandmaster Nightfall for PSIOP's Cosmodrome on the weekly featured GM. The reason for the video is because it's double Nightfall drops and increased Vanguard rank. Double Vanguard points, double Nightfall drops. So if you're playing this week and you're not doing much and you are farming GMs, well, it's a good time to be doing that. Now I'm going to go meta for this video. My next video I'm going to go off meta because I've not discovered a new way to play, but something interesting in the game, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but that'll be for the next video. On this video, we'll go meta, we'll focus on getting people the clears, because this video is going to contain more valuable information about the actual GM itself, because it's a battleground GM, and the PSIOP's battlegrounds are notorious for being more difficult than the other GMs. So the GM modifiers are Void Surge. Notice there's only one surge per week now. For some reason, Bungie has removed one of the surges. We used to have 2 surges a week. Now it's down to 1. Last week was 1 as well. I don't know what's going on with that. That's weird. One thing to take note. Void Threat is on for this. Champions are Barrier and Unstoppable. Fire Pit, couple of GM mods not worth mentioning. So I'm going meta for this. We'll go on meta. So let's go through the build. Fist of Havoc, it's the go-to super for Battleground GMs on Arc Titan. T-Crash is less valuable to you in this. Take it from me. Rally Barricade, Seismic Strike needs to go on for my build. Flashbang Grenade is extremely valuable because it stuns and stops. For moment-to-moment gameplay, that's very valuable. Stormscape, of course. Knockout. And Fragments are Spark of Shock for Jolt. That will mean Flashbang will jolt and stun unstops. It'll blind and jolt. Spark of Resistance for damage resist. Spark of Haste is a sleeper fragment, and this is on for particular this GM. I don't always run Spark of Haste. This is my what's known as my flexibility fragment, where I will use shock, resistance, and frequency, and then I have a movement fragment that I use different things for. Let me take you through that a little bit. So in this GM, it's Spark of Haste. I'll explain the run why that was. But if this was a different GM, I might run Spark of Ions instead. Or I might run Spark of Beacons if I am running an Arc Special. Or I might run... What else was there? Sometimes Spark of Recharge is alright. Spark of Focus is a big one. For example, Solar Prophecy. Spark of Focus is fantastic in there for that. Not needed in this so much, but you understand now where there's some leniency with your fourth or your third fragment. In this case though, for GM PSIOPs, Spark of Haste is unbelievably good in this, because it's on for a specific unique purpose. Pairing that with the exotic boots, Peregrine Greaves. Probably one of the best exotics for champions in the game, hands down. This is meta. This is unbelievably like that. So we're running this just for, because you can. There's other things that we can run. I figured I'd do a Peregrine Greave build though this time round. Obviously Seismic Strike is needed. Armor mods are there. I'm not going through them because there will be a dim link. Artifact mods. Here you go. You've got 5 seconds to look at it. Give you a few moments. You can pause the video. It's 2025, You do have... On YouTube's player, you can pause, rewind, fast forward. This isn't the 1980s. We're not on VHS. We've come a long way in 2025. We can pause the video. Just pause it. Boom. Equip your mods. There you go. Sorted. Dead easy, isn't it? Weapon-wise, so I'm using Tina's. You could supplement this for a sniper rifle instead if you wanted to. You don't have to run Tinas, but you can run Tinas, or maybe, some kinetic tremor sniper. Alternatively, it's up to you. It really doesn't matter in actual fact for this. Lemon Arc, it's meta, we know it. We're just looking to get you clear today, that's all it is. Now, I'm running Storm Chaser because there's a lot of Arc Knights in this. However, if you don't have Storm Chaser, and I'm aware a lot of people don't have it, then use Scintillation. If you don't have Scintillation, use Fire and Forget. If you haven't got Fire and Forget, then use some other linear. I can't give you a replacement for every damn linear that I've mentioned. I can just tell you that use a Adaptive Burst linear. That will be better for you than using a Precision Frame linear. That's the go-to advices. Right. What else is there to cover? Yeah, that's basically it. That's the build and the information on with the run. Alright, so this video has two purposes. For number one, for people to get their solo clears for double loot, and also for those that still have not soloed this yet, because you'll be surprised, it's Psyops Cosmodrome. Both Psyops Cosmodrome and Psyops Moon have been probably the hardest GMs of this season. Just because of the nature of them. Right, we're going to go in and lead with a Peregrine Strike. Now there's no Arc Surge, so you won't quite one-shot a champ, but it's good enough, because you just clean them up with a finisher. Yeah, we're lacking an Arc Surge, but for some reason there's only Void Surge. Only one. So yeah, you can clean up both champs with Peregrine Greaves, as you can see, and then just control this section rather easily. It just makes champs a non-factor, and I think, you know what? What's the biggest three things that players have issues with in a solo GM? Well, it's champs, staying alive, and pacing of ads, really. Well, you know, Peregrine solves at least one of those problems, doesn't it? Champs makes them a non-factor, essentially, with the Peregrine Strike. Alright, on payload, check skiff. Check the skiffs, look. You get a skiff in middle and a skiff left or right RNG. I've got a skiff left. The skiff left, the payload is protecting me against the snipers. We are now using some advanced protection with an emote. Yep, look at this. I've now noticed. We played Splinter Cell there for a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds. We got found out. I was rumbled. 33% progress of payload. The brig spawns in. So now what you're going to do is pitch up somewhere from a range. Don't need to be that close to him. You really don't. And what your goal here is to DPS the brig, whilst also trying to clear out some of the ads. Some of the ads will sort of be surrounded round the brig. So ideally you want your bolt charges to sort of deal the damage to the brig and fin the herd. This way we're sort of multitasking rather than, individually killing a knight, a captain. You don't really need to do that, so to speak, if you have the ads surround the brig, because the bolt charges sort of multitasking, chaining to some of the ads. If they're spread out like snipers, well, no, need to take them quickly. But we use a super there because we got it to burn. Get used to be burning your supers because you're getting tons of them. Now I'm going to whip out LFR. Whatever LFR you're using, just whip it out. It is not mandatory to use Storm Chaser. It's just nice because there's arc shields. Lots of arc shields. So it's just nice for that. And Storm Chaser is just a really nice LFR to use anyways. But there are technically better linears than this. Yeah. So up to you what linear you use. Just use a linear, that's the point. Don't use a machine gun. If you use a machine gun, you will actually slow your run up. Your run will be worse if you run a machine gun in this. Which I said the other day, machine guns are king for battlegrounds, and yes, that is true. But not always as well. We build for activity. Needs to be right. So if you know that activity inside and out, you should know whether you need a linear or a machine gun. Now, we get the 1 KO on the champ. I prepped him in advance. I'm going to do some finisher kills here. Because my Martinez is lowish. It's lowish. I didn't even pick up the ammo. I'm telling you that. I didn't even pick it up. Should be picking up that ammo. There's ammo to my right as well. Yeah, we'll just get rid of the ads. Yeah, I haven't picked up the ammo. I'm crazy. I don't know what I'm doing there on the run. I'm sleeping there on ammo. There's 2-3 bricks on the floor and I haven't picked it up. I guess I don't care that much about the run in terms of like ammo usage, because when you are on this build, ammo's much of a non-factor. It really is. Because we've got multiple ways to deal with champs. I always manage ammo for mainly champs. It's not for ad clear, especially if you've got an exotic primary on. But payload progress, you just do it in that way. Make sure you blind the shanks. Don't let the shanks 1 KO you, because they will if you let them explode on you. Now I'm going to do a bit of ad clear, but I'm going to jump on top. Because if you're up against ranged targets, which all of these targets are ranged, none of them can hit me. Non-ranged targets, should I say. None of them can hit me. Not until they spawn are they a problem. That's when we super. Get the payload progress to 83%. If you do not do that, there are actually a limited amount of ads. If you don't collect the payload to 83%, there will be an unlimited amount of Arc Knights. I bet you didn't know that, but that is a thing. It is paramount that you get that payload to 83%. That is a condition that you need to meet. Once you've met that condition, you can then do your night clear. Once knights and all ads are killed, shriekers open up. That's why, look at where I'm standing. I'm using tank strat. Stand at the bottom of the hill, don't stand up top, it's no good. Well, it is good, but it's not as good as what I'm doing. This is far easier than top of... You know what I'm on about with the little alleyway top left. You should know what I'm on about. Don't fight at the alleyway, basically. On a fire team, doesn't matter. Solo, it matters a bit more. It's easier standing where I am now, because you've got much more control, places to sort of strategize. I get a melee there, but like I say, Peregrine isn't one-shot because of lack of arc surge, but that's fine. I am out of position a little bit there. I made a wrong decision by barricading. That's fine, I made it work. I'll go back to the tank. This unstop has looped right round the tank. And I want to get a finisher kill. I should have picked up green ammo earlier on, because I'm actually quite low. That's fine now. I've got more than enough Tinas. Because we do need some barriers. We do need some ammo for Tinas for barriers coming up. There's an RNG chance you can get 2 barriers, 1 unstop, or 3 barriers. Doesn't matter either way. You probably want an unstop, to be honest. But I didn't get an unstop. Look at this. Peregrine goes in. We actually damage 2 barriers. We kill 1. Then I go for my second one. Peregrine was not proc there. Stormcaller Wizard pops. I use a procs ward overshield. Then super. Because I knew I would be weak after the super. Don't worry. I wasn't worried about it. Because I knew that I was going to do. I knew that I was going to pop super right after that procs ward overshield. Procs ward overshield will immediately disappear after the animation of finisher is finished. That's why we run procs ward, because you get immunity frames. It's unbelievable. I can't see a world where we won't use procs ward, unless they nerf it next season, which I highly doubt, because no one uses procs ward. I only see solo GM players using it. I never see fireteam players using procs ward. Never do I see it, so I don't think that Bungie would nerf it, but I'm just saying to you right now here, a top tip for you, one of the biggest tips you can take away from this is, use procs ward. It's on your class item. It's a +2 energy costs, or 2 or 3, can't mind. But it's so well worth that 2 energy that it costs. Procs ward. Unbelievable. It might be one of the best mods ever made for GMs. Because you're always finishing targets, and it works on Ghost Crush. So when you crush a ghost in a Lucent Guardian GM, like Lightblade or this one, procs ward procs. On all of those Ghost Crushes. Saved me so many times over the years. Alright, this room, break it down into 3 waves. It should probably say on the left hand side that there's 3 waves. It would probably make it easier for people to distinguish what phase they're on, because there are actually 3 waves, technically. This is phase 1, of course. Now, you're going to get 2 to 3 waves of Arc Knights. You're going to get some Banes. Obviously, look for each phase which Bane you get. If it's Hypernova, you need to focus them. If it's Zealous, be careful when you kill him, because you're going to make more Zealous Banes. And if it's a Drain Bane, then you really need to prioritise that Bane. Right, so I'm standing in the middle of the map because I want to Peregrine Grieve the Unstop like this, look. So you get a stun like this, look at this. Look at the multitask. That's the power of Peregrine. The multitask, and then you can get finisher kill. So it's actually nice that it doesn't one-shot, because you can then finish up with a finisher kill to definitely get special. Then we Peregrine the Wizard as well, then finisher, boom, look at that. Because if you get a target finishable, it's as good as a one-shot. Technically, it's better than a one-shot. Because if you one-shot that target, you can't finish them, can you? Think about it. Special ammo's free right now. If you can get a target finishable, that's better than one-shot. Because you got the finisher this season at least. It only applies to right now. Next season, you won't. Well, yeah, there's no artifact for special finisher. So you're going to have to rely on special finisher mods and stuff. Although they are changing the ammo economy, so I don't imagine it being much of a problem anymore. Because you're going to get special and heavy meters, which will be massive. It'll be a massive game change, that. And the weapon stat, of course. So I use a super here because it's a throwaway ability. Not a throwaway ability, but it's a ability that I'm spamming. So I'm using it on knights to speed the run up a little bit, yeah. Unstops, I would usually save fist for unstops and stuff, but not on this build. Because you can get a stun and do this. So the super then, I sort of strategize supers a little different to what I usually would do. Rather than, focus and fist on the ogres or the unstops, I focus these fists on Arc Knights because they're more of a problem, and unstops are less of a problem on this build at least. Although saying that, there is an unstop somewhere, and I'm thinking, where's he at? Because there was an unstop chasing me, so I'm like, where is he? So I pop a barricade down because I know that there's one unstop left. There he is, look. Look, he's been hiding all that time there. That's fine. Get the stun. That's why linear goes on. See, Trinity is good at what it does. It stuns barriers and unstops. But remember, it's a 3-shot stun on an unstop. It's not 1-shot stun. It takes 3 shots to freeze. Slow does not stun an unstop. It only slows them. Not until you get the impact freeze will you stun that unstop. That is important to know because if you're running around with Peregrine Strike or Graves and you need to get an instant stun, well, you use your linear or flashbang. One or the other. To get instant stun, you need instant stun. Don't get me wrong, sometimes in the game, getting a slower stun isn't too much of a problem. But on a build on this moment-to-moment gameplay, you need instant stun. If you're planning to melee them, yes. You need that instant stun. That's why you go linear. Machine Gun Watchful Eye does have Unstoppable built in, but that's not instant stun either. That's getting the taken rounds to proc. You don't need Watchful Eye in this. Although Watchful Eye is amazing, you don't need it in this. There's no need for it. Not on this build at least. Maybe on some other builds where they lack ad clear, right, you might need Watchful Eye a little bit. But because this GM is such a long-range GM at the boss fight, it's overwhelmingly in your best interest to use a linear. You need long-range precision damage. Simple as that. It's really as simple as that. Whereas some other GMs, they don't need long-range precision damage. Maybe it's more CQC, maybe it's more small rooms. Imagine Disgraced. Machine guns are fantastic in Disgraced. Yeah, the GM. We haven't had that up this season. I'm just giving you an example. Now we use a super. Look at what the super's doing. That's limit break fist that. It's cleared 2 wizards. 2 wizards that's done. Now on this phase, we're on phase 3 of this room. Adds TP, they teleport. The reason why that happens, and it happens every run, they teleport behind your back, is because the room can't handle the amount of ads that are in this room. This room can't be coded good enough for ad density in terms of how many ads there are up. So what the game does is that it teleports ads behind you because the game can't code where to put all the ads. So what it ends up doing is having ads TP on you. Although ads will randomly teleport on you in this game because right now it's a bit of a mess. Stability wise it is. But I'm saying that there's an actual pattern to it. I've got a lot of experience with this GM. So on phase 3, you got a decision. Fight from the back of the map or the entrance, up to you. If you fight at the entrance, ads will not teleport on you. Fight the back of the map, they will. Make a decision. You're on Arc Titan, you should be fine. On some other classes, maybe not. If an Arc Knight teleports behind your back, he might kill you because of it. That can be a problem on some builds that maybe don't have as good survivability as this one. If that's a problem to you in your run, fight from the entrance, the mini door. You can do that as well. That's only on phase 3. It's an exclusive problem to this room on phase 3. Right, ammo. There's a crate. I don't need it. I've got full special, full heavy. I'm alright. I've wasted my melee there. I could have used it on the boss coming up. I probably shouldn't have done that. That's alright. What I'm going to do, because here's a bit of foreshadowing here. I need to think about what's going on in the game, because there's no Arc Surge right now, and I know that I won't send the boss in time after super is ended. So what I'm going to do is a bit of damage rotation with my linear, then I'll pop super when the boss pops super. Yeah, because this boss is a sentinel. Do no need to pop super until then. So look at chip damage. Right, then he pops, then I jolt and blind, then super. This boss will one-shot you. My gameplay does not look like that is the case. That's because he simply didn't hit me with his Captain America shield. A Captain America shield on this difficulty will one-shot regardless of void resist. I have physically tested this, and other people have accustomed to the same thing, that even if you're 2040 in power, this boss will one-shot you regardless of that. If he hits you a direct hit with the Captain America shield, you're done. Now, I've heard of Guardians surviving it as well. I personally have never survived a direct hit. Maybe they're lying to me, because people do lie or they get things wrong. But from my experiences, this boss always one-shots on their Captain America shield. You need to know his AI perfectly. I'll explain it. I'll try to explain it. Maybe that's why I'm going to focus on the dialogue right now. So I'm going to pitch up left, because left you can do this. Just be careful of Void Suppressor, because that will one-shot you if it's a direct hit. Now, boss pop super. Now, I'm going to super as he does it now. How many times has he done Captain America? That's one rotation. Let's count them. That's number 2. Right? Let's go. And it should be number 3. Although he's de-aggroed. So, he does... I mean, I messed with his AI a bit there because I supered him. But this boss will will throw 3 sets of Captain America shields at you. Once that is done, his super ends. So basically he's got a super duration and he's got a pattern. That is pattern. So what I'm saying is knowing a Sentinel's pattern is critical. Like right now he's popped a shield. What he should do as well, and I'm surprised he didn't, he pops shield then a suppressor. He didn't throw one suppressor on this run. I'm very confused about that actually now I'm thinking about it. That is RNG. That's part of that AI pattern of him. The suppressor grenade is RNG. But he didn't throw one on this run. I'm very perplexed. I'm confused on that because I'm standing on left. This is a risky strat, this. Well, it's risky-ish because he can one-shot you. And he didn't throw one suppressor, so I'm not on that phase at least. I think he ends up throwing suppressors later on. The take-home point is, if you see that damn Lucent Guardian throw one suppressor at all, you need to move. It does not matter. If you've popped a barricade, it doesn't matter. You need to move immediate. I mean, if the suppressor's direct hit, it one-shots. If the suppressor is 3 meters away from you, maybe 5 meters, let's say, then it won't, but it'll get you weak. Now, on this phase, you need to come back here. You must. You must do that, unless you're going to super the unstop. I don't recommend you do that. You don't need to. I think that's unnecessary. So, unstop gets killed with linear, whatever linear you use, and does not need to be Storm Chaser. It can be whatever you want, but not precision. Try and avoid precision frames. They're just not as good right now. Adaptives are a bit better. I haven't got particle on. I haven't got particle on simply because I don't need it, by the way. So before you say, oh, you haven't got particle. Yeah, I know, because I'm running Defib Blast Limit Break. That's more important to the run. I need to buff my super up because I'm not running Symphos, I'm running Peregrine Strike. So do you see now the decision making on that? If I was running... Maybe if I was running Symphos, I would take Limit Break off and put Particle on. But because I'm such high in power level, it doesn't matter to me either way, really, because I'm 2040 power. Well, I'm actually 2041, but that doesn't matter. You cap GMs out currently right now at 2040, which makes them significantly easier, as opposed to 2035. Oh yeah, it's huge gains, massive. If you compare like a 2040 GM to a 2030 GM, like your level, oh, it's massive difference in terms of easiness. Right, the strat on this is get amplified via barricade, go to middle, seismic strike, rotate camera as you shoulder charge, pick up relic. You must do it like that. If you don't do it like that, you'll probably die at relic pickup. Look, watch. Amplified, shoulder charge, rotate camera as you shoulder charge. If you control play, you should be able to do it. I've got paddle controller. It allows me to do that movement. I'm a controller player with PC movement. Explain that. Well, I can explain it. Paddle controller. Paddle controllers allow for this movement. Look, boom, shoulder charge as I rotate camera. That's because I don't take my thumb off the thumbstick, because I got paddle controller. That's a prime example of a paddle controller in PvE helping. I should know because I've used them on and off for years. If I go back to stock controller right now, I will notice the difference in PvE, especially on Consecration Titan, especially on Slide, Lightning Surge, Warlock builds, especially on, you know, even like Ascension Hunter builds. I notice it because it's dead easy with paddled. Got much more movement, better, far. And Destiny 2 is going that way now, where if you haven't got good movement, you are punished for that massively in the game. On high-end stuff, I'm talking day 1 contest dungeon, day 1 contest raids. If you haven't got that movement and you are lackadaisical, you're going to suffer. And that is the exact reason why PC players perform better on contest competitions over console players. Because a lot of console players don't have a paddle controller for number 1. Number 2, they might not take the game as serious. Some do, some don't. Some do. Some console players do take the game very seriously. There are some, I've seen them. But overwhelming the majority of console players don't take the game as far as serious as a PC player. And it's because of money investment. A PC player will have invested 2,500 to 3,000. You know, when you couple in Destiny 2's expansions altogether and their high spec rig that they've got, they might have invested $2,000 into the PC. So they're already much more motivated than a console player to play better because they've got more money in it. It's money. It's a money thing. Whereas a controller player has invested 600 quid, which is still a lot of money, but they haven't invested as much, so their desires are a bit less. I'm completely off that radar, by the way. My motivation's much higher than an average console player because I've got more time invested in this and I have to do successful videos on YouTube. So my investment's completely different to any other controller player at all, basically, because I've got other things going on. Now on Phase 2, you can see it's pretty easy. Peregrine Greaves doesn't do well against boss damage. It's only good on mini-bosses, tormentors, champs. See that? Did you see that Peregrine Strike damage there? Wasn't very good, was it? Be interesting to see what Peregrine Strike damage does in Edge of Fate. Because it's getting a buff, and you'll be able to stack that, I believe, with melee 200 stat build. I believe so, as far as I know right now, that you'll be able to do that. And it's melee based additive damage, not multiplicative. But you should be able to. It's just what the boss damage is going to be like. I mean, probably not very good because Peregrine Strike's not good against bosses. But again, it's a champ killer. As long as you can 1KO a champ, yeah, it's going to be really good. So Phase 2, the boss, I mean, this is the issue with PsyOps. A lot of waiting around, a lot of evaluating what the boss is going to do. That's the biggest issue with this GM. Because look, on Phase 2, he hangs around right-hand side and, you know, what's he doing? Right now he's in a spot. Remember, shields will 1KO. They have range drop-off. Did you see them disappearing? They actually disappear. I mean, It'd be hard to work out what his range is. Probably 50 meters or something. But they won't just keep going on forever and forever. They do disappear, which is good actually, because if they didn't, it would be much more difficult actually if they didn't disappear. I want to use a super because I've got one to use. Bad super there. I end up supering a damn fence instead of the boss. That's fine. We can do some sizable damage to him. Look, that's non-Sympho damage. That's limit break. That's alright, that. Because I've got it to use. I don't need it. So don't be that guy, that titan that sits on his super till orbit. Don't be that type. Oh, look, see, did you see that? That's what I was on about there. See what just happened there? If that shield had not disappeared, I would have been dead. Because it would not have bounced off structure and it would have killed me. So I was quite lucky there, actually. It doesn't look like I was in danger at all, but I was. Anybody that saw this would know, yeah, I was close to death there. I overcommitted slightly to damage. Probably overcommitment. A little bit of rushing the GM a little bit, trying to rush it through, and I nearly died. So you've got to be careful on this. Blistering Ogre is not an unstop, but make sure you deal with him because he can get out of hand. If he goes to cover, you're done. You're going to have to super that Ogre if he goes to cover. So what it means is, once that Ogre's fresh off a spawn, kill him quickly. If you don't, it presents a problem to you later. Means you've got to super with 2 aspects up. Now this is how you would do it. Same again, amplified barricade. You do 2 jumps. 1, 2. Teleport. Grenade button to teleport. A lot of people don't know you can teleport with a relic. Teleport with a relic and use it with your movement. Now what you're going to do is, unfortunately, this is what takes Psyops Battlegrounds so long, is the aspects. And the ammo depletes. This is why people don't like Psyops. I mean, I like Psyops. I love getting to the boss. On all the Psyops Battlegrounds, Moon, what else is there? There's Earth, this one, Cosmodrome. There's a few others I can't think of right now, but they're all okay as a GM. The problem comes or arises when you're up against aspects. That's the problem with these damn battleground GMs. They're just not engaging enough. You know, it's not. I mean, they are more difficult than the other GMs, yeah, but not in the right ways. Like Sunless Cell is such an engaging GM. A lot of people have been critical of Sunless Cell this season. I don't know why. I think it's one of the best GMs to come out in years. I would put it up there with Glassware. Maybe not as good as Glassware though. I put it up there with Glassware, Lightblade. You know, your golden standard GMs in this game are those 3. So yeah, I mean, people have been critical of it. I've enjoyed Sunless Cell. I mean, I don't know, what do people want from it? Do they want it to be as difficult as Luminality? I guess that's what they're wanting, but you know, you can't please everyone, I guess. I think Sunless Cell is balanced pretty well. Yeah, I mean, it's 2 bosses in 1 GM. You know, you gotta think about it like that. And not everybody can solo it. Definitely not. I know loads of people that can't solo it. That final phase is very difficult for people. It is. Once you get used to it, it's not, but you know, not everybody is used to it. So same thing, we're picking left relic up and just using, I mean, I didn't even go amplified on this phase because the aspect wasn't too much of a threat. But doing that, shoulder charge, rotate camera, pick up relic, doing it like that, it just means that you're flawless in your movement from the wizards. It just means you're not going to get caught out. Because you could get caught out from damage and die. But if you do it in that exact way, chances are you won't die. Okay, so we're on final phase. I've got super to burn. I'm not going to kill boss. I won't, but I'll use super. So use my fist here. It's just for damage. Look, we can out-tank his damage as well. His shields, of course. So obviously he won't one-shot you if you're in a super because you got super armor. But once you come out of that super, that exit point, yeah, he would kill you. So be careful on exit point. If you're not confident on doing that, what I did, maybe not super then. Just do damage from here. I mean, you can pitch up left as well, like I did on phase 1. But again, he can suppress a one-shot use. So, calculate that risk. We're 33 minutes in. If I go left, he might not suppress and aid me, but I wasn't trusting him in the run, and I just wanted to get the run complete. I mean, this was essentially my first go at it properly this week, so it wasn't too much of a problem. But I have been there where I have died on this phase for sure, and he has one-shot suppressing me in previous weeks, not this week. I just know I've got that history with me on GMs where I'm like, yeah, I remember that day, or this happened to me on that day. And it's all remembered. So I remember what potentials of risk. So what I'm saying is, past gameplay of weeks, I remember, and I know what can happen this week because of what happened in the past. I don't forget nothing, especially if it's a real crushing blow where I'm 35 minutes into a run of any GM and I die because of something, and I evaluate that and I'm like, was that my fault? Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't though. Sometimes there's a bit of that, but it's just that remember that stuff so you can strategize for future. This is exactly why Saab's Cosmodrome isn't very engaging, because look what the boss is doing now. Why is he doing that? We know why he's doing it because I'm standing here, but why is he doing it? There's RNG with him when he peeks out and when he doesn't. When he's got his barricade up, use tuners because you'll bypass his shield. Barrier rounds will bypass his shield. He's weak. He's weak. He's not weak enough for a super though, is he? It's touch and go that. If you look at his HP, according to the damage I'll do with my super, it's touch and go. I won't super and crush his ghost in time, so I need to do a bit more damage. So I'll just confirm the kill and do a little bit more. He's showed himself. He's now definitely within super range, more than enough now. Well within it, but I'm just doing more damage. But that's why super's on, because it confirms ghost crush. It means you can crush the ghost while having super armor. I jolt him, super him, he's done. And then I can crush the ghost. Look at procs ward, it procs when you crush the ghost, because technically it finishes your kill. But yeah, that was a solo GM for Psyops Cosmodrome. Double loot, double Vanguard points. But that was the video on this. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.
It pleases me to watch your guardian carve through the hive. You would have enjoyed the Dark Ages, Empress. It was an endless despair.